Hello, lovely person. I am glad you're here. I think you're probably interested and curious about what sharing circle means, and maybe you might be a little bit scared of it as well. So do not worry. It is the most magical place you can ever be in, but you just need to get over that fear and then hold on to that heartbeat going up boom, 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 and stay. And then you will witness it on your own. So I really hope that you can make one of my circles or anyone else's circles, really. But, I love to see you there as well. So in this short video, I really want to explain what sharing circle means to me, especially, and how I hold the space, and what are the few agreements that I expect from people who intend to attend before they come to the circle. So I want to start from my own experience. This was a few years ago when I went to this magical land of Mbikim. As many of you know that I'm a big fan. And I sat in my very first circle feeling really nervous, feeling really on the spot. And everyone seemed so lovely, but I just couldn't concentrate anything but my shaking. But at the end of it, there was this lovely feeling. I just felt something just happened there, which I couldn't explain and didn't think much about it. And the next day, when we sat on our circle again, that's when the real stuff came to me. I was sitting, witnessing people's vulnerabilities, their authenticity, their being themselves. And I just felt so moved, and the tears were just like rolling down my cheeks. I just couldn't make meaning of it at that very moment. But I remember saying, this feels so special, and how can I bring this to my everyday life, to my relationships, to my workplace, everywhere, because that's how I want to relate to people. I want to be able to see people through. So here I am now. I started holding circles a while ago, and I'm really enjoying it. And every time when I sit on a circle, I always say this: every single share leaves a little line under my skin, and I'm just covered with all those lines, because every story, every word is so special, and I'm learning and growing a lot as I sit on the circle, and really magically healing as well. So sharing circles are not new. They've been around for many centuries, and they were in Native American cultures, indigenous cultures from Aborigines, and probably in my culture in Anatolia as well. So the point of a sharing circle, you make a circle. And when you imagine there is a circle, so there is no one behind, no one up or down or front. So everyone is actually in the same level, and you can see everyone's faces. So whenever we sit on a circle, we say, just make sure no one is left behind. And then you got that solidarity. And it is equality, because whatever you say is as important as whatever I say, and valuable. So there is nothing to be ashamed of. There is nothing to show off. And it's just a place where you're invited to bring yourself fully, authentically, however you wish to. So when you do these simple things like be authentic and take that mask and say, this is how I am feeling right now. This is what's happening in my life. And this is what I've been thinking. And this is how I've been suffering, or this is how I've been happy. So another good thing about the circles is that, whatever your experiences is so beautiful, and I'm happy or I'm sad with you. But when it comes to my turn, I am going to tell you about my experience, no matter what you said. So you might have been very upset just before I shared, but it doesn't mean it's going to affect my happiness, or it doesn't mean that you're going to be bitter against me. You're just going to share mine, because we said that we hold the space for you, and now it's your turn to hold the space for me. So one of the agreements of those sharing circles is that we don't tend to use we or you in the sentences. So we mainly talk about our own experience. So it is about me It's about my experience. I'm not preaching you, and then I'm not bringing everyone into my own experience. You're simply witnessing me. Okay. Another thing is like, and this is very important, obviously, this is confidential. So whatever is spoken at the circle stays in the circle. Of course, you can probably talk about your experience, how it felt for you, but you never talk about someone else's story. You don't give their name, and you don't go up to them and just start talking about what they said. You may, however, maybe go to them, go and ask, may I please offer a feedback, or may I please share something? And if that person says yes, please, then you can go ahead. And if they say no, then don't take it personal, just walk away. And as a person who if you don't feel like accepting feedback, just feel comfortable to say no, I think I just want to leave it there. That's completely fine. And it's a really good practice to, know your boundaries. Get behind your yeses and your nos. It's beautiful. So another agreement is, and it is again very important, is active listening. So when someone is sharing in the group, we all give ourselves to that person with our ears, with our body, posture, with our eye contact, even on online circles. And I've been hosting online circles for a while now. You can tell if someone is listening or not listening. All we want to do is that holding that space and be attentive to that person. We are not giving any advice, we are not judging them, and we are not like trying to save them, because there's no one to be saved. We are just experiencing what they want to say, and that's it. And another, a few practical things. For instance, sometimes someone shares something and it really resonates with you. You're like, yes, I feel the same. So we have a couple of like gestures for that. If that something is there and we really want to be like, yeah, I feel the same, you can just go like that. And if someone shared something really like you felt in your heart, you can of course do this or do this. So you can always use your body language. Some of the circles, depending on the size of the circles, I sometimes time them, just so that everyone gets enough amount of time, so it is equal. But if it is a smaller circle, that we don't do that, and we just leave it to your judgment and whatever would like to come out, that can come out, and we hold that space for you. And sometimes it happens that we run like a council, which means that after we complete the circle, we can go around again in case there is something else that you wanted to say, but you didn't remember at the time, or it wasn't alive at the very time that you were sharing.